Connecticut morning arrived in a blaze of glory, its golden fingers reaching across the expansive driveway of Benjamin Ward's secluded estate. He emerged from his car earlier than usual, a ghost of his former self. Once a celebrated tech millionaire, his face now bore the deep etchings of sleepless months, a roadmap of anxieties he kept locked away. For 3 years, he'd been both mother and father to his son, Noah, a Herculean task driven by the fierce protectiveness of a single parent. He shielded Noah from a world he deemed too harsh for a child already burdened by physical limitations. A difficult birth had left Noah with weakened legs, a cruel twist of fate for a spirit so bright. Though his son was intelligent, tender-hearted, and possessed a quiet bravery, Benjamin refused to let anyone breach their carefully constructed bubble. Relatives were kept at bay, neighbors politely avoided, and even hired caregivers were dismissed before they could establish a foothold. Benjamin was convinced that no one could possibly comprehend the delicate dance of caring for a child whose life teetered between moments of pain and glimpses of unwavering hope. He withdrew from society, unknowingly erecting towering walls around his own heart, brick by agonizing brick. But that morning, as he cautiously approached his backyard without announcing his arrival, the foundations of his world, his beliefs about control, fear, and trust, began to crack. The first fissures appeared when he saw Noah. His little boy stood unsteadily on the flagstone pathway, clutching a pair of small, vibrant purple crutches. His gaze was fixed on a puddle, reflecting the morning sun like a shattered mirror. A short distance away knelt Clara Hayes, the family's young maid, her dark uniform dampened with dew. She dabbed at the puddle's edge with a towel, her movements gentle and precise. Noah's brow was furrowed in concentration, a testament to his determination. Clara's expression was one of warmth and unwavering belief, as if she possessed an absolute certainty that Noah was capable of far more than he himself knew. Panic flared in Benjamin's chest, a familiar unwelcome guest. For months, Clara had subtly tried to connect with Noah, offering her assistance in quiet, unassuming ways. And for months, Benjamin had rebuffed her efforts, issuing stern instructions that confined her duties to cleaning, cooking, and keeping a respectful distance from his son. It wasn't that he disliked her. On the contrary, her gentle nature unsettled him precisely because it stirred within him the treacherous embers of hope. Hope had betrayed him before. He remembered doctors' optimistic pronouncements that had led to nothing but disappointment, the promises of improvement that culminated in Noah collapsing, his small body racked with inconsolable sobs. Benjamin's primary instinct was always to protect, even if that meant isolating the child he cherished above all else. From his concealed vantage point behind a wall of vibrant hydrangeas, Benjamin observed Clara as she placed the towel aside and gestured softly towards Noah. There was no physical contact, no undue haste. Her eyes didn't reflect pity or focus on his limitations. Instead, they radiated a patient faith, a quality Benjamin hadn't encountered in what felt like a lifetime. Noah, trembling slightly, raised one crutch and tentatively tapped the puddle. The water rippled outwards, the sunlight catching the disturbance and creating a fleeting sparkle. A small, almost inaudible sound escaped Noah's lips, a tiny laugh of pure delight as he tapped again. Clara's smile widened, a beacon of pride as if Noah had just conquered the world. Benjamin felt the air rush from his lungs. For the first time since Noah had learned to use them, his son was standing outside without Benjamin's ever-present protective grip. For the first time, he was exploring something as commonplace as a puddle, an experience Benjamin had always denied him, driven by an irrational fear of even the slightest stumble. Clara leaned forward, not to intervene or prevent him, but to carefully wipe the area surrounding his feet, ensuring he had a secure footing. Noah looked up at her, studying her face with an unwavering trust, a level of openness Benjamin had believed his son incapable of extending to anyone else. It was then, in that crystalline moment, that Benjamin saw what he had been too blinded to perceive before. Noah wasn't afraid. Clara wasn't overbearing. She was giving him the freedom Benjamin had unintentionally, but undeniably, stolen from him. She was helping him live. A tidal wave of guilt washed over Benjamin as he cautiously stepped closer, still partially concealed. Memories flooded his mind. The countless nights spent watching Noah sleep, consumed by the terror of losing him. The chilling silence of the hospital corridors when Noah had first received his diagnosis. The profound loneliness of grieving the life he had envisioned for his son, a life he now believed to be forever out of reach. He recalled Clara's arrival months ago, her quiet compassion, and how he had steadfastly blocked her from the areas of the house where Noah played or struggled. But now, witnessing this scene unfold, Benjamin understood with piercing clarity that Clara wasn't a threat to his son. She was, in fact, a blessing he had been too stubborn to accept. Noah suddenly shifted his weight, wobbling precariously. Benjamin's muscles tensed, poised to intervene, but Clara reacted with swift, gentle grace. She stabilized Noah, not by grabbing him, but by strategically positioning the towel beneath his feet, providing him with the traction he needed. Noah regained his balance, his blue eyes widening in surprise before transforming into a radiant smile, an unfiltered expression of pure joy that Benjamin hadn't witnessed in months. Clara whispered words of encouragement, her face alight with pride. She wasn't attempting to replace Benjamin. She wasn't overstepping her boundaries. She was simply pouring love and care into a child she genuinely cherished, expecting nothing in return. Benjamin took another step forward, slowly revealing himself. Clara looked up, startled, immediately rising to her feet, an unspoken apology forming in her eyes. She anticipated a reprimand, the cold, professional distance Benjamin had always maintained. Noah turned as well, his eyes widening in confusion. For a moment, Benjamin stood frozen, overwhelmed by a torrent of conflicting emotions, unsure of what to say or do. Then, he did something completely unexpected. He exhaled deeply, releasing the vice-like grip of fear that had constricted his heart for so long, and knelt beside his son. He looked Clara in the eyes, and in that gaze he saw not an employee, not a stranger, but someone who truly saw Noah. Not his limitations, not his diagnosis, not his fragility, but his unwavering spirit and his inherent strength. In the days that followed, a profound transformation began to unfold. Benjamin invited Clara to participate more fully in Noah's activities, and with each interaction, he discovered her innate ability to nurture progress without resorting to force. She devised playful challenges for Noah, stepping onto strategically placed cushions, reaching for toys positioned slightly beyond his comfort zone, tapping shapes drawn on the patio stones with his crutches. Noah began to laugh more freely, to express himself verbally with greater confidence, and even to attempt small, tentative steps with support. Benjamin found himself observing quietly, learning from Clara, humbled by the depth of her understanding of the language of healing. A language crafted not from rigid instructions, but from compassion and genuine presence. Their home, once shrouded in silence and shadows, began to resonate with warmth and light. Benjamin slowly began to confide in Clara, sharing the fears he had buried deep within his soul. Clara listened without judgment, offering the simple, yet profound, reassurance that Noah deserved a childhood filled with joy, not just cautious protection. The more Benjamin allowed Clara to become a part of their world, the lighter his own heart became. He realized that he had been attempting to shoulder the burden of fatherhood alone, wrongly believing that love meant shielding Noah from any potential harm. But real love, he finally understood, encompassed allowing others to help create the moments that truly mattered. One evening, as the setting sun cast long shadows across the yard, Benjamin watched as Noah lifted his crutches and took two small, unsteady steps toward Clara. She didn't erupt in boisterous cheers. She didn't make the moment about herself. She simply knelt down, opened her arms, and allowed Noah to gently fall into them. For the first time in a long time, Benjamin didn't feel fear. He felt gratitude, a deep, overwhelming gratitude for the woman who had helped his son believe in himself again. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life. Before leaving, please comment below. Kindness changes everything.